subscribe to our orders. So on the same day, there was an uproar because our own colleague, my dear colleague, Senator Natasha refused to go to the seat that was newly allocated for her. And the Senate President, who was presiding that day, directed that she should properly sit where she is allocated to be before she can raise the point of order, because our colleague was raising the point of order, hinging it on the permission, the express permission of order 10. And we all know that we are going to count 6 before we can count 10. And we all know, like I said, that order 6 stipulates that you can only talk where you are supposed to sit. Where you are supposed to sit. Not wherever. Not wherever that you can talk. And so, if you are not in order, you cannot raise the point of order. And that day, it expressly showed, statutorily showed, that our colleague was not in order. So she cannot raise the point of order. She vehemently wanted to raise the order, which brought the presiding officer not even to invoke all the other powers that is written in our order book, that the presiding officer can even order a senator out if that senator is going to miraculously affect the business of the legislation. But this order was not invoked by the presiding officer. Petition rose up. Senators started appeasing our own colleague to obey the directive of the presiding officer, which at the end of the day was not obeyed. Another happened. But fortunately, the leader of the caucus from Kogi, that day, on behalf of the Kogi senators, which our own colleague belonged to, apologized on behalf of the said senator and astonishing, demeaning, perilous, pernicious. After the Senate. And then I, Senator Adarabolu, spokesperson of the Senate, have to be at the receiving end. I started holding the longer side of the stick, which is too heavy for me. We are permitted as senators, who are lawmakers, to keep breaking our own internal laws. Then I raised the motion based on my report over what I experienced for a very hot, unsalacious 4 days, including a big weekend that I'm supposed to have my rest. So, and then this culminated into a unanimous support of my motion that this should be referred to the Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions Committee. And I hold it, and I wish to hold it, and I wish to reiterate once again that unless the Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition Committee does its job as stipulated by our books, then definitely this kind of behaviors will be a very frequent occurrence. Then the work of the legislation will be jeopardized. And while we are here as lawmakers, will be compromised. So that's why I'm here to stick to what I said, what I read, what I debated, what I presented, and what I reported on the floor of the chamber of the 10th Senate. I stand by it.
You know this microphone is not loud. It's not working, their microphone.
Thank you so very much, distinguished. But let me again put on record that our distinguished colleague, Senator Natasha was properly notified to this meeting, and to also further let you know that she was on the floor of the Senate today, and she contributed to the proceedings of today, and it was also announced on the floor of the Senate that this meeting was going to hold at 12 at this venue from 1:20. Again, I'm hoping that she will be here to give us her service. Before I would like to yield to the chairman of the Committee on Rules and Business to give us analysis of what he has for the committee.
The Chairman, Senate Committee on Ethics, Public Petitions, colleagues, gentlemen of the press. My name is Senator Petition. I am the Senate Committee Chairman. I am also a member of this committee. I have this clarification to make in order that Nigerians will know the truth of the whole scenario surrounding the recent development concerning our colleague, distinguished Senator Natasha, with regards to the statements she made on television a few days ago concerning her allegation that she has been deliberately suppressed by the Senate President from carrying out her duties, part of which she claims is the reason for her anger. I want to draw our attention to the fact that the Senate institution is highly regulated, including the way we participate in proceedings. It is a highly regulated institution, and we are regulated by this red book called Senate Standing Orders. And by virtue of my position as the chairman of the Committee on Rules and Business, I stand to protect the rules of the Senate and to ensure that the rules are imposed at all sittings of the Senate. I want to draw our attention to section 1B of the Senate Standing Order. The Senate shall, by resolution, regulate its own procedures. What it means is that even where there are no specific standing orders as contained in this book, the Senate can, by way of resolution, decide on how to conduct her businesses. But in this case, the Senate President acted upon the provision as contained in Order 6 that is already alluded to by distinguished Senator Adaramudu. Let me read section 6.
I'm sorry.
Before I draw your attention to what I'm not laying the background.
No. Before that, sorry about that. My attention has just been called to the order and the procedure here. Since you are making the presentation to us, we will respectfully request you to sit.
Side of
Thank you. Thank you.
those who are facing trial. It cannot be on that one. Chairman, come and face trial here. Gbogbo jàdé gbogbo ìtọ́jà bí ojú wa. Ìjọba ní ẹ̀ o jẹ ṣàánú yìí. Mo fèsì àwọn olùdókòwò fèsì Natasha.
Okay. Yeah, I'm properly guided, and let me go straight. The position of the Senate Committee on Rules and Business on a motion to investigate alleged incidences of corruption and inefficiency at the Ajaokota Steel Company Limited and the National Iron Ore Mining Company located in Kogi State, every move by Senator Akpabio and Natasha, Kogi Central. The chairman, Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. The Senate Committee on Rules and Business acknowledges concerns raised during Senator Akpabio's interview on Arise News Channel on February 28, 2025, where she accused the Senate President of deliberately delaying her legislative duties. Given the importance of transparency and procedural integrity in legislative processes, the committee deems it necessary to clarify the facts surrounding her motion on the investigation of alleged corruption and inefficiency at Ajaokota Steel Company Limited and the National Iron Ore Mining Company. Contrary to claims of deliberate suppression, the motion followed standard legislative procedures. On Wednesday, February 7, 2024, Senator Natasha raised a point of order pursuant to Senate Orders 41 and 45, 41 and 51, seeking an investigation into corruption and inefficiency at the Ajaokota Steel Company, and she requested immediate presentation of her motion. However, due to a scheduled security briefing involving service chiefs, the National Security Advisor, the Minister of Defense, Police Affairs, and Interior, as well as the Inspector General of Police, the Senate deferred the motion to the next legislative day. The security briefing continued until February 13, 2024. The motion was subsequently rescheduled for debate on February 21, February 22, and 27, 2024. It was eventually debated and resolved on February 27, 2024. In the light of the above, the committee affirms that all motions appearing on the Senate order paper undergo approval by the Senate President. The motion moved by Senator Natasha Akpabio was scheduled through the standard legislative process. Contrary to allegations that it was debated because the Deputy Senate President was presiding, the Senate President had approved it for consideration under Orders 41 and 51 on February 7, 2024. The scheduling of motions follows procedural rules and is subject to time constraints during plenary session. The position of motions on the order paper often results in their deferment when Senate sittings exceed beyond allocated time. The motion on Ajaokota Steel and NEOCO was affected by these procedural realities. As a question of legislative scheduling and setting the Senate priorities, the committee emphasized that motions and legislative measures appearing on the order paper are not automatically deliberated upon on the same day. Legislative priorities and time constraints influence the deliberation of motions. Urgent matters such as requests from Mr. President, issues of national security or closed-door sessions often take precedence and can lead to rescheduling. This procedural reality was evident in the handling of Senator Akpoti's motion, which was deferred on some occasions before it was finally debated upon. Such occurrences are common in parliamentary proceedings and do not reflect bias or an attempt to suppress any legislative contributions. In retrospect, since assuming office as Senator for Kogi Central, Senator Akpoti has exercised her legislative mandate effectively. She has sponsored 3 bills, one of which is at the committee stage, while the other 2 have passed the first reading. She also moved a motion on the passing of the Ohinoye of Idoraland, Dr. Abdulrahman Ado Ibrahim. The committee reiterates that every senator is accorded fair and equal opportunities to contribute to legislative debates. The case of Senator Uduahan is no exception. The Senate remains committed to upholding its procedural integrity and ensuring that all senators, regardless of seniority, are given avenues to engage meaningfully in the legislative process. Notwithstanding, the Senate Committee on Rules and Business plays a key role in structuring the legislative agenda. The process of scheduling motions, bills, and debates is guided by established parliamentary procedures. It is standard practice for motions to be rescheduled based on the availability of time and the urgency of other national issues. The committee ensures that all motions follow due process and are subjected to deliberation in a structured manner. Therefore, the claim that certain motions are given preferential treatment or suppressed does not align with parliamentary norms. The scheduling of Senator Akpoti Uduahan's motion followed established Senate rules, and any delays were due to normal legislative rescheduling constraints. With the facts clearly expressed, the Senate Committee on Rules and Business assures the public that due process was followed in the handling of Senator Akpoti Uduahan's motion. The motion was approved by the Senate President, scheduled for deliberation in line with standard procedures, and eventually debated on February 27, 2024, and was thereafter referred to an ad hoc committee constituted for that purpose, headed by Senator Adelku Mire. The delays were procedural and not indicative of any attempt to suppress our motions. The Senate remains committed to transparency, accountability, and fairness in our proceedings. All senators, regardless of experience, are provided the necessary support to navigate the legislative process effectively. The case of Senator Akpoti Uduahan underscores the procedural realities of parliamentary operations and the importance of patience in navigating legislative engagement. Thank you, and may God bless you. I am Senator Titus Zam, Chairman, Senate Committee on Rules and Business. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for giving me the privilege to also present this.
Can we have that?
A copy of the report.
Is that free? Yes, it's going.
As the distinguished chairman said us before, we also have Sergeant at Arms who was on the floor on that day and staff to also present report to the committee. I will call on Tindo Kepo.
Come by camera for us.
I, Senator Dr. Taishi Starting exam, do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give and the one I have given before this distinguished committee is the truth and shall remain the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you.
332.
So we are currently live at committee. Natasha.
Go ahead. Yes. I'm ready.
Police Central Secretary
I,
is here to
Senator Yemi Adarabu, representing the South Central District, and by the grace of God and the benevolence of my colleagues, Senate spokesperson, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I've given and that I shall continue to give before this distinguished committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God and humanity. Thank you. Amen.
May I yield to my colleagues that just came in introduce themselves?
See this mother is this mother. He has one thing.
Thank
This
you,
mother
Mr.
is
Chairman, distinguished colleagues. I'm Nasir Hussain Zangonjara, Katsina North.
His report. I get it from that.
Colleagues, my name is Abin Abbas, member, Assembly, Adama Central, a member of the Thank you. Distinguished colleagues, gentlemen, ladies, now call on the Sergeant at Arms, who was at the plenary on the day of this incident, to present his report officially.
This man is working for
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes.
Can I go ahead? Oath of administration. I, Dr. Usman Odawa, do solemnly swear that the evidence I shall give before this distinguished committee shall be the truth.
Please, I had this committee of observance on the day of this incident. I heard that you have a report for us as well. Give us what you have and then tell us exactly what you have done.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, sir. Mr. Chairman, sir, distinguished members of the committee, other guests, good afternoon to you all. My name is Mukhtar Usman Daudawa. I am the DD Sergeant at Arms in charge of Mesbera and the Chambers Sergeant at Arms General. The incidents on my own side, I will start from Wednesday, 19th February 2025, immediately after the closure of the sitting on that very day. That's after the adjournment. The Chief Whip, in person of Senator Mohammed Tahir Momuno, informed me that the leadership of the Senate had directed him to effect some adjustments, some changes on the minority side as a result of the movement, or in other words, defection of 2 senators from minority side to majority side. The senators are Senator Ned Monique Mwoko and Senator Onyebochi Francis Ezema, who accordingly moved to the majority side, therefore created a vacant spaces. So I met the Chief Whip. He also reminded me that I should do it in line with the ranking, as it has been the tradition of the Senate. We are all aware of diversity ranking. You have to respect who comes first, and they depend on the number of your appearance or attendance in the Senate. And I set a proposal concerning the movement. The line that were directly affected were those people that came for the first time, but all of them came from House of Reps, where you have people like Senator Onao and the rest. And the space was created between Senator Onao and that of Senator Kau. So I made a proposal that Senator Akpabio was the only person that was from House of Reps that still was joined with those first terms. So automatically we brought him forward. Next to him was Senator Aminu Iya Abbas and the rest. So I made the Chief Whip say, yes, Senator Iya Abbas, even though he's coming for the first time, I think being him a speaker for some years in the House of Reps, you can bring him forward to be together with those people. Then the next 2 that I brought forward were that of Senator Friday Gombowe and that of Samaila Kaila. So I brought them forward automatically. The next line to be moved is the last line of the last line where those people that are sitting at the extreme end of the minority side. So when I went there, the first on that seat is Senator Natasha. So automatically, and in the movement of within the Senate chamber, the sitting ranking starts from the aisle where Senate President normally enters the chamber. So when you start from there, you move to the extreme end. When you finish, you start from the aisle, move to that end. So Natasha was moved automatically from her former seat at the extreme back to the extreme left immediately after Senator Ileti Ingibi, in line with those ranking tradition of the Senate. And those remaining 4 people, Senator Kobundu, Senator Ekong, Senator Yaro, Senator Pam, and Senator Yohana, automatically to the next seat, where Senator Akpabio will sit at the present former seat of Senator Natasha, and in that they move in that order. So that was how we moved it. So I did that. I told him that I will effect it tomorrow. He said, no, go and do it this evening. So that first thing tomorrow morning when we come, we will see a new arrangement. So I went back and I effected those changes. Immediately I finished, I called most of my staff that were around. I told them, I said, please, this is a new instruction from the leadership. And any senator you know that has been affected, please inform them tomorrow morning and guide them to their new seats. The few that were there really, the following morning on the 20th, that is Thursday, as they were seen right from the register table, anyone that came, they informed him. I remember Senator Ekong came, they informed him, and he went, even though he raised some observations, but he said, okay, no problem, he sat down on his seat. Senator Akpabio also was approached, he went to his seat. And the next one that came was Senator Natasha. I could remember one of my staff, in person of Sandra, she approached her because she's not in charge of register table and reports. So she told her, as I directed them, that this your seat has been moved to so. She said, where? I said, you have been to that place. She said, no. Please, over my day, I will not be there. Nobody can move me to that place. After showing what I see. So our one is to do the work of nothing but the work of a messenger, inform her, and as she did not say, she started shouting. She started shouting that she would not go there. That was before we came into the chamber, while we were in the Senate President office waiting. That was the time she came in. So from the Senate President office, we were even watching through that CCTV inside the SP office. So I called the attention of all my staff. Madam Miss, I said, see what is happening there. So she went, she said, this is what is going on. I said, well, let's wait and see what will happen. You have to inform her, you have discharged, you have decided our own responsibility. Not until when the procession came in, Senate President entered the chamber. He entered, then some consultations were going on, trying to appeal to her to listen, but she was sitting down on her former seat. Not until when the vote and proceeding was approved, immediately after the approval of vote and proceedings, then Senator Tahir Monguno raised a point of order informing the Senate about the new changes, which he said clearly that Senator Natasha should move to her newly allocated seats next to Senator Ireti Kingibe. If her refusal to do that may come out that she may not be allowed to speak because it is against the rules of the Senate, a senator to speak from a seat not allocated to him. She insisted. So after he finished his point of order informing the Senate, she too equally raised another point of order according to her underprivilege, that her privilege has been infringed, therefore she cannot move to that. Still, SP says he will not recognize her until when she moves to that her newly allocated seat. So she continued shouting, pouring a lot of unparliamentary languages. So based on that, SP directed that Sergeant Arms should go and off her microphone and take her outside the chamber, so that we'll have a relative peace within the chamber. We approached her immediately. We are moving there. We call some of the ladies so that somebody will not hide under tradition, and even though in the Senate office you can do. So as we approach, many senators surrounded her that no, we should not move her. They are trying to plead to the Senate President to see normalcy is brought back to the chamber. So in a nutshell, this is what I've done. Okay, sorry. Lastly, after a while, she sat down. Then Senate continues its proceedings. Then first readings were read. I think including one of our motions. She sat down inside the chamber on that her old seat. So immediately after the old seat not allocated, immediately after the conclusion of the first reading, I noticed she just went out. And on that very day, one of the senators from Kogi State Senator, he said he was true and raised another point of order, pleading and apologizing to the Senate on her behalf. And Senator Karimi Sunday also collaborated with the addition that he too she should apologize to him for showing an insulting words on him on an issue that is not even known to him. He did not act it, and he told her what is what about those things are happening. So, in brief, this is what I know, what I could remember on that very day. And immediately after that, on Monday, I summoned a meeting where I asked like 5 of my staff to tell me what they could remember that transpired on that very day. Sandra, Mekaswa Vari Kashi, Miss Rashid, Esther, they are all, and they are all presented their comments and Natasha that I would like to, if allowed, also to the committee. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Secretary, for that elaborate and clear and concise account of the country. Before we continue, may I do
No, you're supposed to sit down. You're supposed to stand there.
colleague here
I said so.
Thank you, distinguished colleagues. Now, let me inform us that today, the plenary, as on the floor of the Senate, distinguished Senator Natasha Akpabio presented a petition before the Senate. And there were a lot of objections to those to that petition because of the manner in which it came. But in the wisdom of the Senate President, it was still referred to us, this committee. And for us to save time, because we need to make a report back to the Senate in a few days, I will address that petition. But I'll go through our rules and our order, our standing orders as amended. That petition, for what she read on the floor, of what I'm saying, is making some allegations that are already in court. It's already in court. And it is the procedure of this committee. As a matter of fact, the first thing we ask when the petition comes before us is whether or not that petition is before any law court. And if the answer is yes, we do not touch such petitions. In addition to that, our Red Book also, under Order 40, has also laid down the processes that must be followed before a petition is laid. And if you allow me, Order 40 of our rule book, subsection 4, says that no senator may present to the Senate a petition signed by him or herself. In other words, I cannot submit a petition about myself, signed by myself. That petition ought to be presented by another senator. And I'm sure that there are 3 senators from Kogi State, as it is with other states. Or any other senator could have obliged her to present that report. And that was not done. That's a direct contravention of our rule book. Now, we also have subsection 4 that, well, I'm not going to go into the issue of the sitting arrangement. I really don't want to go into that. The committee will meet after this hearing, public hearing, and to take a decision on all of that. But that report, we will not even touch it because it's a matter before the court. And on top of it, I went to the office as I left the chambers and I found a notice from M.J. Numa and Partners, LLP. They said they are trial attorneys and transaction advisors. and they have presented to me a motion and a road order from the court attempting to stop this committee from doing its work.
So legislation is shut down.
This is unacceptable. And indeed, we should actually let the world know that there is what they call separation of powers in our constitution. The judiciary, like I just told you, if there's a matter before them, we do not touch those matters. We know as parliamentarians what our rights, privileges are. And one of those things is we moderate what we do in the Senate. It is not subject to any court. And so in the Senate, whatever happens there happens within the Senate and not subject to any other court. The issue before us today is the issue of an alleged misconduct of one of our distinguished senators on the floor of the Senate. And there are rules that guide such conduct and such behavior. It is not subject to any court outside this committee. And so we do not actually pay much reference to this order that came. Then we are going back on our rule book, like I said before, that the petition she presented today is actually dead on arrival. And I say that because it runs contrary to Order 40, subsection 4, that no senator may present in the Senate a petition signed by him or herself. And that petition, having been signed by her, will not be entertained by this committee. And so, ladies and gentlemen, she's not here. Now I can understand why she's not here. She's probably not here on the order of her lawyers. That being the case, the committee will sit and will deliberate on what we've gotten from distinguished senators that presented their cases before us and signed their hands, and based on our rule books and all other documents that is available to us, to make a decision here and then make a referral to the full Senate. I will yield the floor to any senator, distinguished senators, that may have one or two things to say on this matter before we close. Yes. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to add Can you hear me now? Yes. I think it's important that I add a few words to what the chairman of this committee. And I think it's important for clarity, particularly given the way to respect press as slandered press has given to it. I think it's important that we understand something. And I will give a bit of a background so we understand what we are faced with here. The first is to say that the incidents that has brought us here this afternoon happened during Senate plenary. And I think it's important that we understand that. And why do I emphasize that? Is that during Senate plenary, senators are at liberty to debate, to speak, to voice their opinions, and there is immunity. That is why what we say on the floor of the Senate, no outsider can come and say, I sue you. However, for there to be decorum, the rule then says this must be the conduct of senators during plenary. Because the rule recognizes that you cannot take us to court, but there must be decorum. So the rule sets out what decorum must be. One of them is that you are allocated a seat by the presiding officer, the Senate President. He allocates you a seat and you must sit there. Why must you sit there? So that there can be the conduct of the business of the Senate is properly regulated. The moment you do not do that, then you have chaos. The moment you do not do that, is that you can do whatever you want to do and there are no repercussions. Then the rule book goes on to now say, if you don't do certain things, these are the consequences. I want you to bear something in mind. This, today, the senior Senator Natasha went and sat at her allocated seat. Why? Because she recognized that the point of order that she wants to make today, she will not be able to make it except she sits at her seat. Except she sits at her seat. Now, that for me shows that it is an admission that what she did before today was wrong. Let us put things in perspective. If she felt that what she did the other day was right, she would have sat at the same seat and raised the point of order. So even her action today shows that the Senate has done the proper thing. And I think you journalists must be fair to us.
Yes, sir.
Now, she comes and lays before the Senate a petition. Let us understand something. The Senate is the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is not Godwin Akpabio's Senate. He is the presiding officer, but it is the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is therefore our responsibility to protect that institution. The moment we all or anybody pisses in the communal pool, we have a problem. That we must understand. The moment we allow any senator to piss in the communal pool, we have a problem. And that is what we are experiencing here. Now, so she places a petition because I don't want to say I don't want to hear a petition. Now, in placing a petition, there's also a rule. Senator Uduaga is a lawyer. If you find a case in court, there's a procedure to follow for the court to assume jurisdiction. There's a procedure here. That procedure says you cannot yourself lay a petition signed by you, complaining about conduct that you say was visited on you. And that is what the chairman is saying. That we will listen to you, provided you follow our procedure. It will be wrong for us to sit here and allow the procedure and rules and regulations of the Senate to be violated. It's not about her. If Ademi does it tomorrow, then I'm not entitled to be heard. And I think it's important that you, the pressmen, understand what we are facing here. There's no which and therefore, all that was said on the floor of the Senate today is that go and follow the rule in presenting your petition. And that is what the chairman is saying. We will listen to you provided you follow the rules. Now, let me say something before I stop. I listened to her when she said, oh, I have order 10. I can raise any order from anywhere. But today she didn't do that. She didn't do that. And why did she do that? It is only Article 6, Order 6 that talks about sitting arrangement and compels you to talk from where you are seated. So if you are moving a motion, can I go and sit with the clerk? Or sit beside the Senate President? Where is it written? Even in Order 10 that this is where you must sit. Only Order 6 talks about where you must sit. And that order says you will sit and be heard from your seat. Let us please understand that. It is not about shouting. It's not. And when you talk about sexual harassment, I don't even want to go there because I think one doesn't excuse the other. Let's not muddle up the issues here. One does not justify the other. On the day Senator Uduaga got up, there were no allegations made against any fellow senator. So how can she come back today and try to justify that? And then the press is lending their voice to justify it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you,
We have, I believe that this case has been exhausted. We have listened to all relevant parties to it. And we also
Let me show faces of camera.
civil colleagues, joining of the press, as I was saying, haven't exhausted all that we need to hear on this matter. Adjourn this matter, but distinguished colleagues will have to stay back with us so that we'll be able to report back to the House tomorrow.